Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Harry Muppet. Welcome back to the very end of Harry Bash number 5. Now, a few days ago, we saw Patreus, we saw Arthur, we saw the epic battle that they got into for first place. And yes, we saw who the victor was. And if you don't know who the victor was, then go watch that game because it's freaking awesome. So you should definitely watch it. Let's introduce the players in the third place matchup. So down the bottom right side of the map, and yes, I know there is a proxy barracks going over there, so let's check that out in just a sec. But down the bottom right hand side of the map, the player who is going for the hatch first build, even though he probably shouldn't be in this location, in this situation, even though he doesn't know it yet, is Mr. KingkOng. He is from South Korea, plays for Team Exile 5. He is freaking awesome, but unfortunately he did go down to Patreus in the semi-finals, which is nothing to be ashamed of because Patreus, of course, is a friggin' master when it comes to Starcraft 2. So, yeah, there we go. And the person doing the very cheesy barracks play down at the bottom left side of the map, but he's actually up the top left side of the map, it is Mr. Spear. He is incredibly awesome, and he almost kicked Arthur's ass in the semi-final, but didn't quite. Arthur came back and, yeah, did quite a bit of damage. So yeah, the semi-finals as well were really close. Like each one went to the full ace match. So this whole thing so far, semi-finals, grand finals, incredibly close. He's actually hiding. Oh man, please don't tell me he's going to be able to supply depot there and completely wall him off. But he's doing a crazy job. 3 guys there, second bunker. There are Marines coming over. The Marines keeping watch over the barracks. Whoa, KingkOng, what is he going to do about this? I actually don't know. He seems like he's in a pretty tight spot at this point. That base is going to go down. He can't really do too much about it. I don't know if he can even move these guys back. He's sending some lings out. And is he going to get another base down here maybe? Is that the play? Oh, this base is going to go down. And he's just in such a bad position at the moment. He's moving out with a ton of forces, but there are 6 Marines out there. Every time he moves out to attack those guys, there's suddenly more of them over there. I think he just keeps waiting for Spear to say, alright, job done, let's move the barracks out. But Spear just keeps building Marines and Marines and Marines and just keeps going nuts. He's just, there we go. He's finally going for it. There are workers repairing this thing, trying to repair it. It's finally going to go down there. He does have enough links. Salvaging at the very last second, moving the Marines into the other one. And finally go down, and by some miracle he managed to actually save the expansion there. And now the rest of the links running off into the middle of nowhere. They can't be countering Spear because then they would just be leaving the Marines by themselves. Managed to get a sweet surround here. I thought those Marines were going to own everything, but KingkOng managed to get a sweet surround. Barracks finally running back, and yes, no barracks, no Marines, no defenses, only repairs here, and a crap load of lings are on the way. This is suddenly not looking too good for Mr. Spearman. He can hold off here for a while, I guess, but he's really got nothing to sort of throw these. Oh, what the freaking... He is building 2 command centers at this point. He obviously feels very confident about his ability to keep these guys alive. He's going for 3 command centers. He's going to macro his way to a massive victory if he keeps this store alive, which it looks like he is going to. No, that worker's going. He's going for a bit of a wander. Oh, I don't know if 2 of these workers can actually keep 3 of these alive. Obviously, he's feeling like it's kind of like juggling. He's got 2 hands and he's got 3 eggs, and he has to keep all of them up in the air at the same time. But he's doing a pretty good job so far. I guess if this was juggling, then the eggs would stay in the air for like 30 seconds or something before falling back down. So you have plenty of time to catch them. Going to be taking out the rocks, and that, I don't know, I just like the sheer fact that Spear is trying to do this. He's just going for it, and he's just saying, you know what? I am going to make this work. The double proxy barracks, we've seen that before. The double proxy barracks followed by the triple command center build. We have not seen that before. It's something new, and just for the sheer novelty of it, I would like to see Spear pull it off. He's not going to have any problems building workers anytime soon. He's got to have problems actually filling up on this base. He needs to move over to his natural expansion ASAP. He doesn't have a lot of Marines though, and if these Lings hang around, then he is not going to get over here anytime soon. He doesn't have enough support to push these Lings away. He just doesn't. I mean, they're running by themselves, but... Okay, so he's pushing out with a couple of Hellions. There's more Marines over here, sorry, and he's pushing out with a couple of Hellions, and he's getting blue flames. So that might be enough. These guys are going for the rocks as well. Just open up the back door. Why not? Mobility is a Zerg's best friend, and if you can, then why the hell not? That Ling has some balls, man. He's got one kill already, and he's going for a second kill right there, but unfortunately, he did not quite survive. So unfortunate, but now Spear is just going to be, well, he's getting there. He's got the 3 command centers. His economy is going to start shooting up. KingkOng is already there. KingkOng already has 56. He's been doing an insane amount of macro. All this time he's been going for 1-1. He's going for the Baneling Nest. He's going for the lair, and we're almost certainly going to be seeing a Spire coming out. He's going to be aspiring to go for Mutiling in this game and throw that against Spear's Triple M build. Assuming Spear, yeah, it does look like Triple M is going to be the way. So what do we got out here? Bunch of Hellions. They do have blue flame already, so they're going to be quite devastating. And all we've got is Lings, actually, so this might really start shooting KingkOng in the face right here, because Lings can kind of surround Hellions and do a pretty good job, but when they got blue flame, it's just so hard for Lings to do anything, really, because they just get roasted so fast. So he's going to have to throw a ton of Lings at these guys and try and make it work. There are Marines out here as well, which is going to be quite annoying. There he goes, he's just pushing on in, trying to do the damage. Nah, not quite. Spear just falling back, getting some tanks, getting some starports, going for 1-1. His 1-1 is a little bit behind KingkOng, but that is fine. And the macro hatch going down. Are we seeing a Spire here? Not quite. Not quite yet, but he's got to be thinking about it at some point. I mean, you just got to be thinking about it. So anyway, 4th base. I think that's why he knocked the rocks down, so you get to this 4th base nice and easy. Oh, I love this little thing around the backhand side. It goes through these rocks and then it sort of does a little jig and it ends up... It's like those... If you guys ever gone out to like the woods and stuff like that, and you got all the nice big, wide walking trails, it's just like so boring, and then suddenly you see this... Like, they're in gardens as well. You see this tiny little walking trail. You're not even sure if it's a trail. It might just be a natural gap. But you just start walking through it. And it's just so awesome because nobody else ever walks through it. And it's just quiet and secluded. And it's... I love walking through those things, man. It's absolutely beautiful. That's what that passage around the side of the map feels like. It feels like this little neat walking trail. You don't even know it's there until you look for it. And it's just... I didn't actually realize there was a trail here, because I've never seen anybody use it before in these games. Nobody ever goes up this trail. They just go through the center and all over the place. But oh man, we got an opportunity here just as the supply divers are going down. Banelings, get the Banelings on the workers. What are you doing? Get the Banelings on the workers. Oh, get the Banelings on the workers. There he goes. He's going for the workers, and the workers are dying. Great job there. A bit late than never to get the bloody Banelings on the right target. I thought they were going to go off and bloody roll into the bunker, but they did end up taking that out. Those Lings ran the wrong way. Should have gone for the siege tank, man. Go for the siege tank first. That's what you always do. And finally did go down. The Lings and the Banelings doing a fantastic job. 2-2 halfway through. And KingkOng is just swarming everything. So he's in a sensational position at the moment. The gas income is huge. He's going to build like 15 mutas as soon as he finishes his Spire. And he's looking so good at the moment. The Hellvat's starting to run in. Spear's starting to do some pressure. But KingkOng is just overwhelming everything. He's just completely overwhelming everything. His income is extremely good at the moment. 19 workers ahead. Spear not really pushing his workers any harder. He's only just now getting the 3rd base up. But look at that. Workers just rolling on in, and KingkOng is looking like he really wants to get third place in this tournament. He really wants to get that extra $10 Australian that you get for third place. He's already qualified for the Hairy Smash, so he doesn't need to get third place, but he definitely wants to get third place. He's not messing around. He just wants to... I guess maybe he's... Maybe just a little bit frustrated after he lost to Petraeus. He just wants to kick someone's ass. So it's like, Petraeus, I hate you. I want to kick your ass, but I got knocked out, so I'm going to kick Spear's ass instead. And yeah, he's really going mental here. And yeah, we'll see how it goes here. But I definitely think that KingkOng is... I think he's going to win this game. I really do. He's looking so strong at the moment. Look at these mutas coming out, getting level 1 weapons as well. The drops are trying to do stuff, but they're just not working. And Spear just finally just saw the momentum going against him. None of his drops were working. Everything he tried to do was getting owned within 2.5 seconds. And he just said, you know what? GG, dude. It's not happening. It's not working out. I want to catch you in game 2. And we'll duke it out then. So that's it. Game 1 done. And we're going to move on to game number 2. And yeah, see if KingkOng is just going to continue to beat up on Spear to let out his frustrations, or whether Spear is going to jump back in and say, hey, you know what? I'm actually a friggin' good player as well, you know, and I'm frustrated as well. I got beat by Arthur in the semi-final, and I need to take out my anger on somebody as well. So we'll see what happens. Game number 2 coming right up. Alrighty, back to the game, and if things are starting to look similar already, it's because they are. Once again, we've got a hatch first build from Mr. KingkOng. Once again, we've got double proxy barracks from Mr. Spear, although he's building them a little bit further away. Not too much further away, but a little bit. And yes, we've got the ultra wall here. The ultra supply depot wall coming on down. And oh man, it's going to be looking very good. Bunch of Marines coming across, 3 Marines and a whatchamacallit, little guy. And yeah, it's basically a copy of the previous game. Except I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. We do have a spine crawler coming down nice and fast, which I don't know if we saw last game. So KingkOng getting into it a little bit faster. Bunch of lings and workers are coming across, scaring this away. And I think KingkOng has a little bit better of a handle on it this game. He is sending a ton of workers out, which is, yeah, it's going to be a bit dicey, but he is doing quite a bit of damage. How many workers are going down there? He's lost 2 so far. And the Marines doing a great job at doing the micro. 2 more Marines coming out. And suddenly the worker numbers are starting to go down. And somehow he managed to finish the bunker. So they chased the Marines instead of knocking the bunker out. And now the bunker is up. It's got 4 Marines in it. A whole bunch of workers have died. And it was starting to look good for KingkOng. But suddenly everything just started to go wrong. And that was it. So we'll see. Spineclaw has a beautiful range. Is going to be taking it out. Although the worker is doing it, is fixing it up. So this hatchery may indeed go down, which is going to be bad. Actually building a command center up there, which is going to be all sorts of fun. Might need to get some guys repairing those guys. Looks like he is sending it over there. Bunch of lings coming out. All these guys go down, and somehow he's managed to keep the hatchery alive once again. He's actually got ling speed quite fast, but the barracks are still on their way home. However, a bunch of 4 Marines are coming around. They took a nice hike, so they're going to be able to scare a few of these lings away, but they need to get inside the supply depot wall before the rest of the lings show up. They are not inside the wall. They are all going to get taken out, and now he's going to have a long wait until he gets enough defenses to stop these guys. The supply depots are starting to go down. He is repairing them as best he can, but he's not repairing this one. Oh, Spear, what are you doing? Repair the supply depot. There we go. Starting to get it back up, but he needs 2 SCVs to actually keep it alive. And it looks like for now, he is going to be okay. He's going for a 3rd command center again. He's going for the exact same play, but KingkOng is just, look at this. This is exactly like a huge raging gazelle, just orangutan at the moment. He's just going, I'm going to smash your bloody face in. And it's just, He is not giving up at all. Not giving up. There you go. Finally sees a Marine and finally says, you know what? Yeah, I'll probably fall back now. It's done. It's done. And now the stuff starting to come back and Spear starting to move on in this game. So, yeah, let's see exactly what he can get up to in this game. Obviously, he's going to get a huge ton of workers early on. KingkOng, by this point, actually, I think he had a third base. Maybe. So his macro has not quite been pushed out quite as badly. He did lose 7 workers early on, which has probably stuffed him down a little bit, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I definitely think you would like to see KingkOng push out with a lot more macro at this point. His macro is not that strong, and KingkOng is just going to be pushing out. Sorry, Spear is just going to be pushing out with a ton of stuff at the moment. Going out with 3 workers at a time, he's going to be in a crazy position, although he does need to move out an expansion right here. There's a downside to this build because you need to push out and expand very, very soon with these 3 bases, and it's not always that easy to push out, but... Oh, look at this. Sneaky bastard. He's actually going to try and do something if the Hellions do catch him before things get too crazy. And yes, there we go. Moving on out and scaring Mr. KingkOng away. But he's going for the same stuff he did last game. Going for a Rotoran as well, which is nice. Should be a little bit better than the Hellions. He did have a bit of trouble with the Hellions last game. Not a lot of trouble, but a little bit. Just a little bit. So Roaches, should help just a little bit. And yeah, gonna keep pushing on, just getting an absolute ton of lings. Moving on back here is just gonna stream them in whenever the hell he wants, build up a ton of bailings to destroy a whole ton of stuff. And yeah, if Spear starts letting his workers just get ripped apart like last game, then it is going to be a nice quick 2-0 victory, because you can build as many workers as you want off 3 command centers, but if you just let the bailings roll in, like I think it happened at least once in the previous game from Mr. Spear, then everything just goes downhill. These guys are going to sneak past. There is a queen that's going to be attacking them, and workers actually coming out to defend themselves. Like, few get roasted. One is a little bit too brave and does get roasted as well, but for now the roaches are out, and that is going to be it. Bunch of bailings coming out. Are they going to be able to roll in and just take stuff out? It looks like the answer is going to be yes. There is a bit of resistance here though, and it doesn't look like it's going anywhere anytime soon, but he could maybe use the roaches as a diversion to sort of keep these guys out. But he's going to have to be fast. 2 bunkers coming out, and 2 bunkers are not going to be good for these lings and bailings coming in. So here he goes. He's moving in. He's going to meet up with the roaches and just sort of bust in there. Should be able to get in before the bunkers come up. And there we go. He's having a push. There are only 2 Marines in this bunker, so it's not going to be all that much. The bailings going for the bunker. Need to be going for the workers. I think automatically they go for just whatever they can. Actually managed to take this down really fast. I think some bailings went into the command center right there. But a bunch of workers go down. The orbital command on fire. It's not looking all that good for Mr. Spear. He does have a bunch of guys back here, and maybe if he can hold on, he can do some good stuff. He does have a few marauders. He does have a tank. So maybe able to do a bit of damage here. But the roaches are through. Ling's streaming through as well. Is just not looking good for Mr. Spear at all. He's taking a ton of damage. The tank is about to go down. He's finally managed to kill those guys. But, oh man, what a lot of damage he just took there. Is he going to be able to recover from that? Are Ling's just going to sweep in and absolutely demolish him? I don't know. The thing is, KingkOng hasn't been macroing up at all at this point. He hasn't been getting a ton of workers. He's just been getting a ton of everything else. And hasn't got a third base at all, so he's really just doing a ton of pressure at the moment. And if it finishes things off, then maybe he'll be okay. But there is still a decent amount of units here. And look, I think he just morphed almost all of them into bailings. So if he rolls in and just destroys everything here, then it may be quite crazy. I don't think he's going to get up to the main base though, and there's not a critical amount of workers at the natural, but it still might be enough to be worth sending some bailings in there. So I think that's definitely what he's going to do. Moving them in. The tank's doing a great job. The bailings rolling in, but they're sort of scattering all over the place. I think he's splitting them up for the tank to avoid hitting them. He should have just ran them in and just gone for the workers. But then again, if the one at the back dies and it explodes, maybe it sets off the rest as well, which is not good. Regardless, whatever he was trying to do there, it didn't work. The tanks eventually got most of them, and that was it. That was it. KingkOng is on 2 bases. He can't go on 2 bases forever. And eventually that was the point where he said, you know what, this is not going my way. So it's down to an ace match between Mr. KingkOng and Mr. Spear. So we'll be checking that out in just a second. Alrighty, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Ace match for the 3rd place match of the Hairy Bash number 5 last game of the entire tournament. And it's between KingkOng and Mr. Spear. And it looks like we're actually seeing some interesting play from Spear. He's not going for a double proxy barracks, which he's done every single game before this against Mr. KingkOng. So yeah, he's going for something different, and I gotta say, it's probably a good thing, because that last build, it was very interesting, and it was effective to some degree. Quite effective. I'm sure he's probably defeated hundreds of people in ladder with that build. But KingkOng did manage to hold off against it 2 games in a row. So I can definitely understand him wanting to move on to a different build and seeing how some more standard play goes, which is what he's doing here. Getting the fast Reaper out, going for the expansion, getting the factory out, probably going to be getting a reactor on this thing as well. And yeah, it's going to get... So, because we're seeing all sorts of crazy things from Spear. I mean, alright, this is all going to be one upload, so you guys don't need me to explain the previous games, because you were all just watching them, so I won't do that. Usually if it's like a series, I explain what happened in the previous games because they're separate videos, but we don't need to do that, and I don't need to keep telling you about why we don't need to do that, because I'm pretty sure you got the message already. So yes, a couple more replays coming out. Reapers coming out, not replays. And there's actually a total of 3 Reapers, but they are getting scared away. 2 Queens, just a little bit too much. They could maybe move up this cliff instead. This cliff, oh man, this thing just sucks for Reapers. I mean, it sucks if you're against Reapers, because you have this beautiful place you can just run in. I think when I did my map analysis at the very first point, I just said this map is going to suck if you're facing Terran, because they can Reaper the way all over the place. But does manage to scare him away with a Queen and a bunch of Lings, so that is going to be fine. And yeah, KingkOng does look like he's going a little bit more standard. I mean, when you don't have to worry about double proxy barracks, you don't really have to worry too much about crazy stuff going on. Spear is still going for that extremely early 3rd command center though. So he's still going for sort of the play he did last game, just not with the proxy barracks. And his income is still going to be incredibly good off that base. But we'll see how the rest of the game goes. So yeah, quite a lot of damage being done to this Queen. It is going to go down in just a sec, but the Lings do run out, do scare these guys away. They got speed, they're running around, they're just absolutely owning everything. The Hellions trying to hold on, the Reapers are going down. 2 more Hellions come up. It's maybe enough to see the Lings off, and it looks like it is. So very, very nice stuff there. I wouldn't see him pushing in any further though. He is going to see this 3rd base. No chance of killing that with 3 Hellions though. And the Queen is getting very low on health. Oh, this could be bad news for KingkOng. He started to realize it's bad news, and the Queen dies at the very, very last second. So not good at all, but in general, a lot more standard stuff going on from both players. And oh, are they going to make it? Are they going to make it? Oh, almost didn't make it, but some Hellions came out of left field, or right field to be exact, and just sort of roasted the Lings just as they were about to run in. So great stuff there. And KingkOng is just settling back into his uber macro style, getting a ton of everything coming out. And going to see how well he can do. This Queen got a memo from the other Queen, and the other Queen said, do not run out and try and solo a bunch of Hellions, because it just doesn't work out. So that is it. They're now grouping them up, and the Hellions are being forced to run away. Bunch more Lings coming out. I don't think we've seen a Roach Warren. No, we have not. There is a Bailey Nest coming out, maybe a Roach Warren, but considering the lair is coming out, I do believe it is going to be Mutiling all the way from Mr. KingkOng. And yeah, we're going to be seeing exactly how he does. tons and tons and tons of workers. He's pushing extremely hard on the macro early on in this game. And yeah, he's going to be at like a 60 worker mark by the time he reaches 10 minutes. If these Hellions don't kill any of them, which it looks like they may do. But the Ling's rolling in. The Hellion's not in a bad position, but there's just way too many Lings. Killing one drone just before it dies of those Hellions. They did a pretty good job at the end. 7 workers down, not too bad for a day's work. And it has knocked KingkOng back a little bit, but he's still going nutso on the workers. Still going absolutely mental. And the Spire is starting to come out as well, so yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Looking on, just a whole bunch of Triple M coming out from Mr. Power HM. Mr. Spear going for the typical Triple M play. Building a reactor on here. He's already got a starport out, so I'm not sure what this is for. Widow mine production, perhaps, would be my guess. I think it's probably a little bit too late in the piece to be going for any sort of Hellions or Hellbats or anything like that anymore. But yeah, Widow Mine's of course going to be exceptionally useful against Mutiling. And first little squad moving out there. They are going to be facing not all that much actually. The Ling population isn't there. He is building a bunch more though. But is it going to be enough? 6 Banelings coming out. Ling speed is not going to be there in time. And Spear, maybe just roll in here and just take this base out. There's not really much facing him. The Banelings are starting to come in, but they don't have the speed. And I think you should be able to load in. Although, half of them did die. But, no, actually, I think they all loaded into the medevacs, but the medevacs were full, and the rest of them just died to Baneling hits. So, it's not that they weren't fast enough, it's just that there wasn't enough room in the medevacs. So, need a few more medevacs there. Just a couple more. But he's going to come straight on back, destroying the gas geysers for whatever reason he decided that was a good idea. Hiding behind the gas geysers as well. It means it's going to be a lot harder for the Ling to sort of get a good surround, but it also means there's going to be a lot harder for them to take this base out, because that's pretty much what they want to do, is take that base out. But didn't quite happen. Another drop coming out here. Just completely owned by Lings, didn't really get too much done. And that's it, they're just dropping down the low ground, taking out some Overlords, which is pretty nice. Actually really badly supply capping KingkOng here. He's quite far behind on the Overlords, need to build a ton of them straight away. And meanwhile, Spear has gotten his 3rd base. So Spear is starting to look like he's in a good position in this game. He's done a lot of harassment. He hasn't done a ton of damage, but he has killed 18 workers so far, which is a decent amount of damage. He's got his 3rd base up. He's doing a pretty good job. And so far, I have to say he's looking pretty good. He's looking pretty confident. And a whole bunch more forces coming out. He's in the lead as far as the economy goes. So, yes, I definitely think there's a good chance of him making it out here. Just going ahead and just owning stuff. KingkOng is continuing to macro up like a complete boss and just absolutely go nuts, but he's not dominating like he did in game 1. He's on the back foot, he's going nuts on his macro, he's going nuts on his units, but he's still on the back foot, and that just shows how effective Spear is being in this game. With all of his drops, with all of his attacks, saving all of his units continuously. It's just been absolutely fantastic. Look at this beautiful retreat there. Taking out a ton of Banelings as they came in. More coming in, but none of them really hit the Marines. And now he's got his chance to take the 3rd base, and KingkOng gives the GG. So that's it right there. Good game, and Spear has taken out the 3rd place prize. 3rd place prize. I don't know why that was a tongue twister, but apparently it was. And has come out victorious. So that, beautiful. And yeah, congratulations to Mr. Spear. So thank you very much for watching this game, and I hope you enjoyed the tournament, and I will catch you guys later. We got the hairy, excuse me, just a bit of a cough. We do have the Hairy Smash coming up. That'll be basically streamed at the start of January. I believe it's January 4th it's scheduled for, so that will be streamed. I will put up a video close to the date with the locations of these streamers. I've got a couple of people out there to stream it. I do believe, let's see, we got Maynard and I believe he streams with Zeph as well, so they're going to be doing a stream. And I've also got a guy called Metalcore who does a lot of stuff on SC2 SEA. He's going to do another stream. So that is going to be awesome. It's a 16-player double elimination, so casting it as a tournament is going to be confusing as hell, and I'm not sure I want to do that. So what I'll probably try and do is try and get some replays from the players, do some highlight replays on YouTube, but I'm not going to go through and cast the whole lot. If you want to see the whole lot, make sure January 4th you catch one of those streamers, and there will be more information on YouTube as we get closer to the date. So that's it. There was going to be a Hairy Bash 6, but I said screw it. You know what? We don't need 6. 5 is enough. Because if I do a Hairy Bash in December and then the start of January is the Hairy Smash, then I'm still casting the previous Hairy Bash while the Hairy Smash is being run. It's kind of didn't really sound all that good. So anyway, that's it. January 4th. Remember that date and look out for some more Hairy Smash videos announcing that date in the future. So thank you very much for watching this tournament. I do hope you enjoyed it. Definitely very epic. I don't think we've seen a Hairy Bash before where all the semi-finals, the grand final, and the third place matchup all went to the ace match, but they all did in this tournament, and that just shows how epic each of the final 4 players were and how closely skilled they were. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Stay tuned.